Hey guys, I just wanted to say before this video starts, this is a really personal story for me. I wrote it when I was 19 and first getting back into the Fnaf fandom, and I just really wanted to change up the Fnaf story a little bit. But heavy content warning, I was a heavy horror writer when I wrote this, so depictions of gore, violence, and some heavy topics such as abuse and abuse of other nature as well. It's not directly mentioned, and I don't describe any of it heavily, but it is implied. So, content warning there. But I hope you guys like this video. If you do, please leave a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you're just finding me from this video, that happens sometimes. You guys can see I'm all teary-eyed. I just recorded it. It's an emotional piece for me. Yeah, and leave a comment what you liked, maybe what you didn't like, and if you enjoyed this, consider joining the Discord for TCV. You have to be 13 or older, but we do this every couple of nights, or we're gonna start doing this every couple of nights, where I tell horror stories in the Discord. So if you like this a lot, consider joining up. We could always use some more people. Thank you guys for listening and enjoy the video. My name is William Afton. I am a successful businessman, a father, a husband. But there's always been something wrong with me. I have this curiosity that it just can't be broken after what happened to my son. But I won't get into that now. What you do need to know is that tonight I am planning on killing 5 children. I won't tell you that I have a good reason why, because that would be a lie. But just please, before you judge me, listen to what I have to say. It was about 8 p.m. when these little children wandered into my establishment, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria.
We're here for Gabriel's birthday.
The little one spoke up so suddenly that it almost gave me pause. Well, right this way, little ones. We've got the table set up already for you, and the pizza's already coming out of the oven. They all exclaimed happily and ran. Except for one boy, who paused and looked at me.
You look tired, mister. You should take a rest.
It was little Gabriel. He leaned up and gave me a hug. And as I embraced the young man, I noticed marks on his neck. I realized that little Gabriel was being abused. I recognized strangle marks. So I waited. And I gave them the best birthday they could possibly have. At this point in the night, my plan was still to kill them. That wasn't until I saw Fritz scratch his eye patch, revealing a black eye. I saw the way that Susie held herself away from people. I noticed the signs of neglect in Jeremy. I noticed the way that Cassidy scorned adults. And I noticed that Gabriel kept rubbing his neck. The lights went out, and this was supposed to be my moment.
Hey kids, come on and play in the back room, I called,
sing-songily. And as the lights flickered on, Gabriel ran up to me and embraced me in a hug once more. I nearly broke into tears at the mirror. He looked up to me and said,
Mr. William, that's you, right? Thank you so much for putting on the suit for my birthday. This really means so much to me. You have no idea.
My voice caught in my throat.
I said, of course. Now come play some games.
Hastily, I tossed the knife to the side of the room. I would not be killing any children tonight. But I would be killing someone. After I sent the boys and his friends on his way, I went home. I went to my son's room. He's blind now. His brother still blames himself, and in some ways I do too. But I could never say that to his face. I embraced Evan in a hug and told him that tonight I would get him new siblings. Siblings who would love him like no other. Siblings that would help him and Michael be family again. That would help my family be a family again. I put on my purple zoot suit, my black face covering, and my golden bunny ears. And I went out the door. I made haste to Susie's home. You see, Susie's dad was alone tonight, which meant that I could do horrible things to him, but I couldn't stop thinking about Gabriel. Poor, sweet Gabriel. So I stopped at Gabriel's home. And as I stared through the window, I could see that wretch with her hands around his neck once more, and I knew that I could have it no longer. I waited, and I waited until Gabriel fell asleep, and his bitch of a mother went outside to smoke a cigarette. I leapt out from the shadows, hands around her neck. Does it feel nice? Do you enjoy choking your son as I am going to enjoy choking you? I've pushed harder and harder, stronger, more force, and I broke her windpipe. I almost laughed with glee, but I didn't want to wake Gabriel. So I dragged the wretch by her hair back to my car, lifeless, struggling against all odds. And I threw her into the trunk and I've decided now that Susie's father is going to be last. So I made my way to Cassidy's home. Now, unfortunately, Cassidy and Susie were both in the home, and I could tell the moment that I arrived on the scene that they were both awake still. I entered Cassidy's home and ushered her and Susie up the stairs. They could not see this, and I assured Cassidy that they would feel no pain anymore. That no matter what happened after this, they would be safe. I rounded to the living room, and there he was, drunk, asleep, and with his hand down his pants. I was disgusted. I took my knife and I stabbed it into the side of his throat so he would wake up and meet eyes with me. And I howled and I screamed and I yelled as I ripped the knife from one end to the other, ending his life in an instant. And I felt satisfaction as I watched his life fade. And I drug his body out to the car and into the trunk. Next was Fritz's home. Fritz wasn't home that night. He had stayed with Jeremy. This was a good thing. The things I was going to do next were much more than what I've described up until this point. So if you will have a light stomach, I ask you turn this off now. You will not enjoy the things I'm going to say. I came up to Fritz's home with a start and I kicked in the door immediately, rushing up the stairs with my bat. I knew that man would be asleep still. After all, he took sleeping pills after he beat his boy every night. I took a bat to his knee, bam! Crushing it instantly. He woke up screaming, but before he could do anything, I crushed his other knee with the bat as well. He lay out flat on the floor, crawling away, begging for his life, and I stomped on the back of his head repeatedly until he stopped moving. Into the trunk he went. Next was Jeremy's mother. Oh, she was an easy one. She never loved her son. She didn't deserve him. I drove up to her home and I shot her a text from a burner phone. Hey babe, got this number from a friend. Heard you were pretty cute. Want to go out for some drinks? Yeah, I'll pick you up at 6. I'm right around the corner. Yeah, get ready. It'll be alright. She ran out of the house and into my car, and as she did, I said, "You stupid fucking bitch," and I shot her, blowing her brains out with a suppressed pistol. And I drove off. And then there was only one left. Susie's home. Susie's home. I dare not even say what Susie's father did for fear that I will never be able to wash the filth from my own mouth. But I believe that tells you enough about the kind of man that Susie's father was. And he was going to pay if it was the last thing that I did. I made it to Susie's home, and I wasted no time. With my box of tools, I kicked in the door and immediately shot his knee. He fell to the floor and started screaming immediately, but I gouged his tongue out with a knife. I wanted no screams from this man. I wanted him to sit and listen to me. I ranted on and on and on about what he did to his daughter. I made him hear every ungodly fucking sin that he had ever done. And then I ripped his leg off, right from where I had shot him. Oh, but I wasn't done with him yet. I pulled out my little box of toys and I injected him with morphine so that he would stay alive just a little bit longer. I took a saw and I cut off his left arm. Slowly and painfully, I heard the gurgles of his throat as he tried to produce any sound but couldn't. And then I took out my nice, rusty cleaver. You see, men like you are sinners. And I myself almost sinned tonight, but no more. I remove my mask and reveal my face and burning purple eyes. Tonight, I am judge. I am jury. I am executioner. And I am justice. And I begin to hack his head off with my rusty cleaver. Slowly, painfully, and I know he can feel every minute of it. Something about my soul is telling me that I am keeping him alive. I am burning this moment into his soul so that it will never forget as his wretched soul goes to hell. I lift his head up and I give it one last good measure, and I carve a frown into his face before dragging his body off just like the others. Done with the easy part. Now, how to adopt 5 orphaned children whose parents were all murdered on the same night. But I would have them. They will be